Hey guys, what's going on? Making a second video today, only because I actually just watched one of Ethan's videos. If you haven't checked him out, please check him out on YouTube. Um, he does a lot of content, way more than me, and some good stuff, especially if you like crypto. But anyway, he talked about Coney again, and he seemed very excited about what their payment was this week, which got me thinking maybe I should do just a quick video of the calculations of this Thursday. What to expect for declaration, and even once they're announced, just make sure everyone understands what they're looking at. So for those of you that have seen this calculation, I've updated all the numbers and I've added a few things, but I'll go through it again for those who may not have seen the other video. But anyway, top four in the top four section, those are the YieldMax funds that have already paid out a dividend. So I use those in order to calculate what I call to be a factor, which helps me to get an estimate for what the other funds are going to pay. So all I do is I get the yield, and based on the last payment and the current price, and I get the current implied volatility, which is the IV, and then the historical implied volatility. So I take the the current yield and I divide that by the current implied volatility to get the current factor. And then I do the same thing. I take the current yield and divide that by the historical implied volatility to get the historical factor. And then, they have similar factors, but what I do is I take all four of them and I average them out. Obviously, current factor averages to be 1.39, historical 1.3, which kind of, it's been staying that way. One thing I did notice, and I'll mention, is the implied volatility seems to be going down for a lot of these stocks. And I believe that's because we've been, and this is just as compared to maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks, because I believe we're in more so of a bullish trend in those 3 weeks versus not. Because my understanding, based on my understanding of the VIX, is when we're in a bearish market, the implied volatility is greater than it versus if we're not. Anyway, that's just my fun fact based on what I learned. Anyway, so the bottom section is all of the newer funds that have launched late July up until now, and they have not paid a dividend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate what I believe to be the dividend, which will be announced this Thursday. Obviously, this is just an estimate, so this is for fun. I'm not saying I'm going to be right, so don't be too excited when I'm wrong. But I really think I'll be close. One thing to also note: this does not include any income from the treasuries, the interest on the treasuries. So anyway, let's just look at AMZ, Facebook, or AMZ, Phoebe, and GUI. They all launched in July. They did not make a payment in August. However, so they had some time in July to do options. So how did I calculate those? I basically, I took what I believe to be their yield, which I calculated two different yields. The current yield is the current IV times the current factor. And that comes to be the current yield. The historical yield is obviously based on the historical factor. So, same idea, historical IV times historical factor. So I have two different yields to get, a rough estimate. And then I have the August distribution percentage, which, this includes how much cut or gain it's going to have based on when it was launched. So since they sold some options in July, we're taking that into consideration. So since AMZ launched July 24th, there's about 22% of that month that they made some options premium. So I'm going to take that into consideration And I'm going to increase the distribution that I calculate by 22.5% basically. And then I come up with the items in green, which are, to me, the possible low and then the possible high. And this will be the payments. And that's it. So, as you can see, AMZ, my estimate, the low 80 cents, the high 92 cents. Facebook, or Phoebe, 74 cents for the low, 84 cents for the high, and GUI, 64 cents for the low, 65 cents for the high. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking they're going to be paying, that's going to be announced this week. Again, not including interest from treasuries. Now, if you look at, the Nefli, Coney, MSFO, I don't even know how do you say that one, MOSFO, DSO, and Zomo, those were all launched in August. And the understanding is that Nefli and Coney may have a payment to be made this month. So, that being said, I figured why not calculate that? And while I'm at it, just in case, MSFO, DSO, and Exomo, or whatever the hell you call them, also make a payment, let's calculate those as well. Not like it matters. As you can see, Zomo, 2 cents, but I'll take it, right? Anyway, so if you look at Nefli, they launched August 7th, and August 7th, as compared to the entire month, is about 77% of the month. So when I take the current yield and then the historical yield, I get, I calculate what's the low of the two and then what's the high. So obviously I have, again, two different amounts because it's going to be a cut. And then Nefli, the following month in October, obviously that'll be 100% because they'll have, just a normal month. So hopefully, back on track. Coney, which, why I made this video, they're the ones with their calculated yields. It actually went down again because implied volatility went down. I'm calculating it, their yield to be anywhere from 81 to 89%, which is still pretty high, close to 100%. However, if you look, they launched about mid-month in August. So they're only going to pay about 54%, of what they would have had they launched in the beginning of the month. So that being said, the low I'm calculating is 73 cents and the high is 80 cents, which is still comparable with Tesla. And, I can't wait till they get a full month in and to see what they actually pay. And I don't even know if they're going to pay, honestly. I think I heard someone mention that the plan is they are. And the bottom three, based on historical data, that, like AMZ, for example, they launched the 24th of July. They did not pay the following month. So I doubt MSFO, DSO, and Zomo are. But obviously, I added them to this chart just for fun as well. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'm making a quick video on lunch break because, I'm getting a little excited since declaration date's coming up. None of these take into consideration, the movements, how they did on the options calls. So obviously, like Tesla, for example, their last dividend was 83 cents. And I don't think it's going to be 83 cents again. I wish it's going to be, I hope it's going to be 83 cents or $1. But, I follow their options, what they do on options a little more, a lot more than the others. And I could tell that they had to lose a little money, cut a little money from what they already earned based on moving the strike price, which, I talked about in other videos. So I think for the hell of it, I've been saying Tesla is going to be 55 cents. Again, that's just my guess. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 80 cents or more. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my fun video for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I'm not close on any of these, I'm going to have to change my calculation method around. If I am close, then I will continue this as they add new funds to, have fun and estimate what I think they're going to pay, what they're going to yield, what they're going to pay, etc. And then you guys can decide from there. As always, not financial advice, just for fun. All right. So let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, if you don't give a crap, you're just going to wait for Thursday. But either way, I'll talk to you guys later.